Something I noticed while scrolling through YouTube is that no one has done a complete class build video in a while. Some videos focus on specific classes, and some are just outdated. Today we will be going over the best gear for each class in dungeons. Obviously this won't include gear that has a very high Catacombs requirement, since those are currently unusable and therefore useless. If you like what you see, remember to like, sub, ring the bell for good luck, check the description for all the goods, and join my Discord to stay up to date with the community. It's also a nice place to hang out. Anyways, leave a comment about crayons, and enjoy the video. The first class we will go over today is Mage, since that's what most people are here to see. When Floor 4 was released, many popular mage weapons were heavily nerfed, such as the Bonzo Staff, Frozen Scythe, and Pigment Sword. Another change was made to how mana regeneration works. Overall mana regeneration was reduced by up to 90% depending on your class, and the only reliable way to regenerate mana was by attacking mobs. Players quickly found out an exploit where they can punch their teammates for extra mana. This is the only reason the mage class is still alive. Let's talk about what weapons are useful. The best choice of armor is currently adaptive armor. This is because of the intelligence it gives you. Some people recommend Zombie Soldier for this class, but personally you will lose it on tons of damage, and with the new nerfs, damage is more important than ever. Pick up some Dark or Shadow Goggles while you're at it. These goggles provide a massive increase to ability damage. The only viable pet for a mage is the Sheep pet. The legendary Sheep pet gives up to 50 ability damage and 200 intelligence. In addition to that, the stat bonuses provide you with reduced mana cost on abilities, and the extra mana while in dungeons. You also get a small shield if you stay out of combat for a bit. Add a textbook to this pet to increase its intelligence by 100%. This is a must-have for any mage. Mages can use a wide variety of weapons, and choosing the wrong one can make combat unbearable. Currently, the best weapons are the Bonzo Staff, Frozen Scythe, the Yeti Sword, and the Spirit Scepter. A lot of you already know what the Bonzo Staff and the Frozen Scythe do. They just shoot a bunch of projectiles that deal damage on impact. But as the meta changes and we get introduced to more items, with the introduction of Ice Essence, the Yeti Sword is quickly becoming a great weapon for mages. Not only because of its terrain toss ability, but because mages also have a ranged sword attack, and this thing can deal a lot of damage and also restore a mage's mana. Finally is a brand new item called the Spirit Scepter. This item was released on Floor 4 and is crafted with 3 Spirit Wings and 6 enchanted lapis blocks. It gives the holder hundreds of intelligence while holding. The more stars it has, the more mana you will have. And fires a beam with a bat that follows your aim, dealing large damage quickly on impact. Because this weapon is so new, I don't have footage of someone using it, but think of it as a guided missile, but with a bat. Berserker is my favorite class, and the one I currently play. Something to note about Berserker is that it's by far the most expensive class to gear up for. Berserker is always in the heat of combat, so not only is it important to have great defense and health, but you must be the party's primary source of damage. As a Berserker, you will want to wield full adaptive armor, and recombobulate it if possible. Your talisman should be set to attack speed for maximum DPS. If you want to learn how to build your talismans correctly for damage, check the video linked in the top right. Once you have your talismans correctly reforged, make sure your armors are forged to either Spiked or Renown, if you can afford it. This will give minor improvements to all stats. For pets, you have 2 choices, and this is what separates the pro Berserkers from the regulars. If you aren't a billionaire, use a tiger pet. This is the second best pet for DPS. A friend and I have spent hours on the math. Yes, it's better than Wither and all of that, just take my word for it. And hey, double damage on the Floor 4 boss sometimes, so there really is no excuse to frown upon tiger pet. If you are wealthy, get a legendary dragon pet. The best part about this pet is the 10% increase to all stats. Towards the end of the dungeon, you will have sometimes over 1,000 strength and crit damage. The Ender Dragon basically gives a free 100 strength and crit damage in this case, and also gives 10% more HP and defense, making you even more sturdy free of charge. This one is the best. For weapons, it's pretty simple. Adaptive Blade, recombobulate it, Fuming Potato it, reforge it to Fabled, anything you can to get the very most out of this sword. Healer is the strongest class in dungeons, with the incredible power to auto-revive teammates and yourself, as well as provide so much natural regeneration your party is basically unstoppable. Healer is a very simple class to build, as they don't have any weapons specifically. To become the ultimate healer, you should get some legendary Zombie Soldier armor, and a Mender helmet or fedora. This is currently the tankiest set we can wield when it's 5-starred, and if one more person says perfect armor is good, I will throw my keyboard. This set not only provides enough defense to make you nearly invincible, it also gives a massive amount of health, so true damage attacks won't knock you out cold. Yeah, I'm looking at you, perfect tier 12. The Mender Helmet and Fedora is a must-have item when playing as healer, as it doubles the healing you do to others. This includes the healing ring. You may feel useless dealing no damage, but trust me when I say you are the strongest class and do most of the work for the team. The Jellyfish pet is the only healer pet to exist. It doubles your personal life regeneration and heals players around you by up to 10 HP a second. This of course can be doubled with the Mender's Helmet or Fedora. It also applies the Golden Apple effect to players after every 1000 HP you heal. I recommend getting an Epic Jellyfish over the Legendary since the third ability is useless. Archer has always been a terrible class, but with the recent Floor 4 update, some changes were made and this class is almost viable, so use it with caution. Archers are a secondary damage source who need to stay back and use bows to hide from combat and dish out damage. Ideally, you want a full Skeleton Master armor set, as it buffs your arrow damage by 45% with the full set. Reforge it to Fierce and get 5 stars on it. Archers are all about damage, so we must go all out with stats. There have never been any good bows to use for an archer, since the strongest bow, the Mosquito Bow, was locked behind a high Catacombs requirement. But recently, a bow called the Spirit Bow was added. This bow has a base damage of 210 and a base strength of 100. This of course can be buffed severely by recombobulating it, reforging it to Spiritual, while also making it 5 stars. I can't seem to find which essence upgrades it, but my best guess is Wither Essence. This bow deals extra damage to undead mobs when under low health. You also gain extra ghost abilities while dead. And finally, it shoots a Spirit Blast that deals 8000 damage on impact. This bow is what makes Ranger useful. You must have this bow if you are considering playing Ranger. Archers should use Skeleton Pet. It buffs your arrow damage by a ton, and the pet shoots an occasional arrow that does a lot of damage. This pet is not only cheap, but super powerful. Pick this up if you are an archer. The final class is Tank, and I'm gonna be honest, please don't play Tank right now. It's just healer without the auto revives and healing. For anyone who plays Tank, switch to healer. It's nearly the same build and is much more useful. But for anyone who still wants the setup, I will go over it quickly. Just like healer, you should use 3/4 zombie soldier armor, and the helmet should be a Reaper mask for the extra health regeneration. Weapons really aren't important for a tank, so don't worry about a max sword or anything. Thanks for watching today's video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I do my best to reply to everyone. And since you made it to the end, if you could subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I know we can reach YouTube rank with everyone's help, so spend those 3 seconds and do that. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Take care.